This is a Glassbox Media Podcast.
Stuck in the J.O.B. Can someone set me free? I've had enough of this. This life is meaningless.
Hey, this is Dan Miller, host of the 48 Days to the Work You Love podcast. Here's a sample listener question. Dan, I barely graduated from college with a 2.4 GPA. 2 job failures have now ended my career with irreversible damage. I'm back living with my parents and have decided that aiming for nothing will at least lessen my disappointment. Are you kidding me? Irreversible damage? Those failed jobs are probably the best part of your education. Do you know the average GPA of millionaires in America is 3.7? Instead of going to grad school or getting a fancy job, they figured out something they were passionate about and knocked it out of the park. Every week, we unpack listener questions and find creative solutions for finding or creating work that is fulfilling, purposeful, and profitable. Check it out on the 48 Days to the Work You Love podcast.
Have you ever wondered what the top 10 most streamed 90s songs are? Or what about the top 10 highest paid dead celebrities? Hi, I'm Nick, host of the 10-ish podcast, a comedy podcast covering top 10 lists. Every week, me and my various sidekick hosts share trivia, fun facts, and hot takes as we try to guess each other's top 10 list. Here's a little preview.
And it turns out people will just shock a guy to death if someone in a lab coat asks semi-nicely.
Chickens outnumber humans more than 2 to 1.
It is the only R-rated film to gross $1 billion.
With more than 200 episodes and counting, there's sure to be a top 10 list that tickles your weird little fancy just right. Laugh and learn every week with 10-ish podcast, available now on all podcast apps. That's 10-ish podcast.
Hey everybody, welcome to My Worst Date. I'm Cassie.
I'm Keegan.
I'm Christina.
And we are joined today by our very special guest, Meg Schipani, right?
Yes.
Great. I said it right.
You did.
But yeah, I'm very proud of myself.
It's rare. It's very rare.
Yeah. How
So,
often do people mispronounce your last name?
Always.
All the
And
time.
My dad gets so fired up. He's like, "You don't say school, shul," and I'm like, "All right, relax, relax." But yes, you nailed it.
Oh, that's so funny. My mom got all feisty about my name growing up, so therefore I've inherited the trait of like correcting people all the time. I don't understand what it is. Why, like, you can teach somebody your name, like it's now your job to like learn it and keep it,
Right.
bury it inside your brain somewhere.
Right.
Yeah, shouldn't have to correct you every single time.
Yeah, I feel like
Right.
last names are different
Last names are a
because
little
it's
different.
like
Right.
so often you don't say someone's last name.
True.
very Right. much. So like there are people I've known for a long time who I'll still have to like sound it out before I say it because I don't say it out loud very often. So I'll be like, oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah,
That's it.
like in my head, you're like going the phonics route. You're like, is it? So you're better known as Schmegs and Bacon. I know you because of the beauty industry, and we both do hair. And you're an award-winning stylist, and extraordinaire. You do a lot of really fun things.
Yes.
Yeah, and people, I know I stalk your career heavily on socials.
I've definitely stalked your Instagram for sure.
Oh, wow.
A lot of very
Thanks,
cool
guys.
stuff on there.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, so Schmegs, I think that where did you get Schmegs? Everybody, I'm certain it's obviously the combination.
Yeah. So I just like really love breakfast. Eggs and bacon is I could eat it every day, honestly.
Same.
And then Schmegs came from my first salon that I worked in. My boss, her son would like be like Megan, Schmegan, Bacon, Reagan, like would like rhyme. And then so everyone started calling me Schmegan, and then it like evolved into Schmeg or Schmegs. And then that was like my nickname. So I just combined the two.
It's really the most logical deduction.
It's just, everybody's always like, is there a big story behind it? I'm like, no, I just literally love breakfast.
Can I just be honest that that's a way bigger story than I expected it to be? Not like that you went on and on, but I was like, that actually has like some real behind the scenes information about it. I did not expect that.
It's very on brand. I love breakfast.
I've never met like anybody who's named Megan or Meg who goes by Schmegs though, which I'm actually kind of surprised by because I feel like, that would be more Maybe you'll start a trend.
I mean, I honestly feel more like a Schmegs than a Megan.
Yeah.
I like.
I've always been.
Nice.
I mean, like, we don't really have like. I mean, your name is Cassandra, and you go by Cassie or Cass, so like that's shortened. But like, I don't. And people call me Keegs, but like, I don't really have like a nickname. I
think I call you Keegs. In my head, I call you Keegs, but I think in real life I don't because I don't know how you like that or not.
Oh, I don't.
Isn't that funny? Like in my mind, you're Keegs. I
constantly will text it that. I go Keeg. Singular.
A singular
One
Keeg.
singular Keeg.
Yeah, no, I don't mind it at all. I think having a nickname
currency.
is cool. Yeah.
Do you have any Keegs on you? No.
Yeah.
Some people call me Schmeg, which makes me really laugh. Just one singular
Schmeg.
Like, just one egg.
I love it that they're just like, we need to shorten this.
Yeah,
further. Schmegs
no.
is too much. It's too
great.
long.
I love a nickname. I don't know.
me
It just makes me
too.
feel so like cozy with a
Yeah,
person.
me
Yeah.
too.
Well, unless you're, there's nicknames that you have like in school too that are like terrible.
Yeah.
Middle school nicknames are the worst.
I never had one. I'm so glad because I know exactly what you're talking about. Where it's just like, okay, I feel like you have a personal story here, Christina. Did you have?
Mine was Crisco in school because my name is Christina Connor and I was a little chubby kid. So
That is
Crisco.
No.
I don't like that. I don't like that.
Yeah.
Disrespectful.
I mean, I will.
We hate it.
It's so disrespectful, but I will say that it is clever.
Clever.
Yeah,
It is clever.
Well, who is smarter than
a bully,
junior
than a middle,
like a
like
junior
eighth grade.
high person that's trying to hurt your feelings?
Yeah.
Nobody.
Literally no one.
Nobody can do it like a seventh grader.
Savage.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's that John Mulaney joke, and I feel it in my soul. Like I've actually literally done this as an adult. Like when you see like a group of eighth graders like walking down the
Across
street,
the
you across the
street.
street,
Yeah.
walk on the other side of the street. That happened to me.
Nothing good can happen.
No,
good
like,
can come from
they
this.
are so mean, like so mean to adults too. Yeah, like so. There was a bunch of skateboarding middle schoolers when we were in Redondo.
I'm out.
And I was
no.
like, we're not walking by them. I can't do it.
No, because they will say something that will like wake you up
Yeah.
10 years from now.
Hit you in your
You're like,
core. Yeah.
I feel like I get very. So I was walking my dog and he's like terrified of fireworks. And there was these like 3 like 14-year-old boys behind us and they had like those little like snap things that you throw. And they like I really almost just like let them have it. I was like, I don't care if you're 14 years old. Like I will go off because Rudy was so scared and they just were like cracking up. I'm like, you guys are
sociopaths.
another,
That's
That might be where I draw the line.
Yeah.
And I have to cross an 8th grader on that
Right.
one.
I almost did.
Yeah.
I really did.
Yeah, that's terrible. Yeah, because they know what they're doing.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Spooky.
I think that's when I use my big bark voice.
Right. Right.
Like,
You think you're crazy.
oh, you think you're crazy? I got you crazy.
you haven't gone through enough life to be this crazy.
So you are a transplant. You're originally from Baltimore area.
Yes.
Correct? Yeah.
Yes.
And I think specifically because, Christina has been on the market here in Los Angeles before.
Ooh. Oh.
But
Yeah.
I know I'm curious to know how the dating scene is, especially
it's
after
dismal here in
so
LA.
spooky. It's
Yeah.
so spooky.
It's really like shopping at like a
TJ Maxx.
like a Kmart.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wasn't expecting
You really
that.
like have to like dig in bins and stuff. It's like, can you find something like good and amazing at Kmart? Like, but you have to dig.
It's an investment, a time investment.
It really is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I go back and forth between being like, I just have to be consistent and like get out there and go on dates constantly. And then being like, I'm just not doing that because people are so spooky.
Yeah, spooky is
So
a good word.
spooky. Like,
Yeah.
Do you do the apps?
yeah. I have Hinge. That's probably the one that I'm on the most.
Really?
I had Raya for a little while. I matched with John Mayer on Raya.
Oh no.
Well, did you write a song? Jesus, tell us all about
Listen,
it.
Okay,
We're
so
all like,
wait.
tell us.
So this is like right after I moved to LA. I didn't even know what Raya was, and one of my old coworkers was like, "You have to sign up. Like, you might actually have a chance because you have like a following on social media."
Yeah.
So I signed up. I got it. It's first of all, it's so expensive. So it's like
Jesus.
the fact
Wild.
that you have to pay monthly so much, like maybe get one good date is annoying, but whatever. So I get on there and I'm looking, and it's like a lot of just like
B-list, D-list.
yeah, or just people that are like producers or
Sure.
like, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, Brad
So-
Pitt's not on it.
No.
Brad Pitt doesn't need to be on
John
it.
Mayer is
But
on
John
there.
Mayer
apparently.
is, though.
Only for friends.
Of course he's on Raya. Like of all the like celebrities that could be on Raya, I'm like obviously.
Yeah.
It's
John
not
Mayer's
shocking.
I
Yeah.
feel like a Penn Badgley would be on Raya too.
I could see
like,
that,
the
but
That would be great.
but yes, I would.
Yeah.
I would go for a Penn Badgley.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah, you know.
No, John Mayer's little like profile photo is so spooky.
Oh, no.
So
Is it?
anyways, I took a screenshot.
Yeah.
I instantly a pop-up came up that was basically like, if you screenshot again, like you're off the app.
Oh.
So I was like,
Really?
oh fuck. I didn't know. And
Yeah,
but I
of
was like
course.
just shook that he popped up on my screen. So like I instantly screenshot it.
You have to like start taking pictures with other
Another
phones.
phone.
You're like,
You get a burner phone.
Yeah.
Burner phone just to take pictures.
Just to like store all the people you see in a folder. Yeah. But yeah, so I screenshotted it and then I was like, I don't think I went any further after that. 'Cause
You're like,
I got
never mind.
scared. Yeah, I got scared.
That would be me.
But
My most famous one that I got was Will Sasso on Tinder.
Tinder, I got off Tinder a while ago. I couldn't handle it.
Tinder in LA is a roller coaster.
Well,
or
I think
Tower
Tinder
of Terror, actually.
Tower. You're just dropping, free falling.
It's like, yeah. Even Hinge sometimes feels a little bit wild, but Hinge seems like slightly more respectful. Slightly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Than Tinder. Tinder is just like everybody that's on Tinder, I feel like, is like, hey.
DTF.
DTF, yeah.
Literally, it's like the wild, wild west on Tinder. It's
You
scary.
know who I had the scariest dates from was Bumble. I did not have a good experience on Bumble here in LA, and I thought it would be because it's like women start the conversation and everything like that. It's like women owned, like blah blah blah. But I actually had a way worse time on Bumble. That was my least favorite one.
Do you get a lot of, in quotes, like male feminists TM, like wearing the
nice
future
guy
female
TM?
nice guys on Bumble who are
Yeah.
like I'm so progressive. I'm on the feminist dating app, and they're really like the worst.
The worst,
ones.
the absolutely
Yeah.
worst.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of nice guys.
Yeah.
That is the worst because then it's like you actually go on a date with them and meet them and then they suck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like at least on Tinder, people are transparent.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
their
I know, you know what
suckiness
you're
is-
getting into.
Yes.
It's like they got their suckiness on front.
Yeah.
It's like,
As everyone
yeah, I
should.
suck.
Like, just let me know what your issue is, so I can decide for myself if it's worth it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
Which is something I did appreciate about Tinder is like people were transparent with their shit on
Yeah.
there,
Yeah.
which I always appreciate. I
do
think
too.
there's a time and place for casual hookups or whatever, and then when you're looking for a relationship, I got lucky. I found my dude on Tinder, but it was kissing a lot of frogs first.
Yeah, I mean, you can
Many
listen to the
frogs.
whole first year and a half of the podcast.
2 years. Yeah, many
that.
frogs.
Yeah.
Too many.
I have a question. So you dated in Baltimore as well?
I did. Yeah. I was in a pretty long relationship when I was in Maryland.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What's the difference between the dating scenes?
I think the people are just drastically different here than they
Yeah.
are in Baltimore.
What are Baltimore guys like on average? I'm about to piss off all of Baltimore.
Yeah, no.
I love it.
I don't know. I feel like here it feels like there's a wall here. Like it's hard to get to like the real person here.
Sure.
With across the board, not just like dating. But I feel like
I could see that. I think that California, well, LA specifically, has this kind of like there's this like instant wall of like, oh, what do you want from me?
Yeah.
You know, where people, because there's so much, this is such an interactional city.
It's a networking
Yeah.
town.
And it's
Yeah.
a networking town. You don't get anywhere in this town without knowing the right people. It's very, yeah. So you're
You have to put your time in too.
Yeah, for
that's
sure.
something I've noticed is that anybody that's come out here and done some sort of creative endeavor usually takes about 10 years to
Takes a
break
long time.
that wall
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah, people respect you putting your time in for sure. And I think that because everything is so not interactional, what I'm saying, like an exchange, like it's a transactional.
Transactional.
Yeah,
Thank you.
transactional.
Everything's
Totally.
so transactional that people instantly come in with like a, do I trust you?
Yeah.
Or are you using me attitude? That's
Right.
different, I think, from the East Coast, in
Totally.
which I think not just guys, but people in general on the East Coast are much more like, here's who I am. Here's
Yeah.
what's going
take
on.
it or leave it.
Right. Because I do think, like, for instance, I think New York is also transactional, but I think they're more upfront with the fact that if it's going to be transactional, that I'm going to tell you it's transactional.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Like, I'll give you quid for some pro quo.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Whereas like in LA, people are much more like coy about it. Like they dance about like around it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's weird. So like, okay, so when I was in Maryland, I feel like if I were to go on a date, first of all, for whatever reason, I feel like people just like to set each other up all the time. Yeah. So like clients at my first salon, like moms would come in and be like, you should go on a date with my son, which like I hate that. I hate it.
No, you're like, I would hate that too, because it's like, what if it doesn't go well? Which, let's be honest, most dates don't go well. And then I'm like, now you've lost a client.
Yeah, I'm like, well, I was an apprentice at the time, so I was like, well, now I have to shampoo you, knowing that like I went on a date with your son and it was weird. Yeah. So now it's just weird. It's just like, I don't know. But I went on a date with a girl recently here, and she wore her sunglasses the whole time, and we were not okay. We were outside, but we were like basically inside because it was covered. Like we were in the shade.
I hate that. I was actually thinking about that the other day. I was thinking about it. I'm like, what is going on? Because every time I go to the grocery store at this Ralph's over by where I live, every time I go to the grocery store, there is at least one or two people doing their grocery shopping in sunglasses.
How can you
I'm
see?
like, what the fuck are you doing? Who do you think you are?
You're
like,
not
first
that
of all,
important.
you are not that important. I don't understand. What is that?
I don't know, but I didn't realize how weird it is to not be able to see someone's eyes.
It's so weird.
For an hour.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was
sketchy.
like, it's odd. Like, unless you literally like had eye surgery, which I feel like you would say something if that was the case.
Yeah.
Then like it instantly feels like very standoffish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
it's arms crossed.
yeah,
right?
for sure. It's like, it was weird.
What is that? I would love to ask, if you are an indoor sunglass wearer, if you are our first
do you
date
think you
sunglass
are?
wearer, first of all, who
do you think you are?
What? Why? Like, is it a self-protection thing? Like, what is that? I don't understand it.
Anxiety,
you really
It
like
could be, I
can't
guess.
really connect with somebody if you can't make eye contact.
Yeah.
It's really difficult, at least.
Eye contact used to be my like thing. Like if I'm like was like seriously flirting, it's like real, serious eye contact. How am I supposed to do that if I can't even tell if you're looking at me right now?
It's weird.
It's fucked up.
It also feels like very like not equal.
That's exactly
Yes.
right.
Which
It's
is
one-sided.
power play.
Yeah. I don't like it. I don't like
that
it
either.
Yeah. I was just kind of like, okay, well.
So no second date.
No. It was just not a good date. It definitely was like across the board. I feel like I just don't like when people don't like me.
Oh,
And
yeah,
I could
yes.
feel, which like not even long term, like even if I was never to go on a date with this person ever again, like I could just tell that there was like an instant judgment that was like not,
Ooh.
I don't know. It was so weird.
You just got a vibe.
You know what?
A vibe.
I think
yeah.
we should normalize, if that's the vibe right away, just being like, you know what? Never mind. Like
You know what?
I'll just
We're
go
clearly
home.
not feeling
Like,
this, right?
is- Because
Yeah.
there's nothing worse than having to sit through if there's an instant like, ugh,
Yeah.
ick.
One drink is about 20 minutes, which was about my shortest date.
Yeah.
When it's like not a great date, but one of the best outcomes of that date is when you don't like them and they don't like you.
and you can just
You
admit
have
it.
one drink and then you're like, you know what? Like,
Nice to meet you.
nice to
Yeah,
meet you.
yeah.
And you know you're never going to contact each other again. And it's like, it's 20 minutes.
You don't have to do, because is there anything worse than, okay, maybe for me, because I'm like such a people pleaser personality, but like, is there anything worse than when someone really likes you and you don't?
Oh, no.
And
That's
like,
the
you-
worst.
and like
It
they're
is.
so
I hate it.
excited and they're messaging
no,
you and then you're just like,
No. Okay, wait. No. That was the client who set me up with her son.
oh no.
Yeah, and I was like he was like constantly texting me. We went to this disgusting bar. It's disgusting. It had like this couch outside of it that people just would like sit on.
An outside
and it
couch.
was just an outside couch.
Was this
and
campus?
It was just foul. Like you just knew that couch was just disgusting.
So much dog piss.
But
on
we
that
made out
couch.
on that couch one time. I was hammered. Hammered.
Yeah, I just got chills.
And right.
I can't even get my arms away from my face.
Yeah. It was as you should be. It was disgusting. But we made out on that couch, and I'll never forget because I was just like drunk and was like, whatever, I'll make out. But I was like, absolutely, like, I'm never going on a date with this man again. But he was like, I feel like I'm on cloud 9. Like it was just like, and I was like,
that's the worst.
When the vibes are unequal, it is the worst
so
because you're sitting there trying to like do the mental math of like, how are you in this place? And I'm in this place.
Like, where did it go wrong? But then I also feel like it's partially my fault because I'm a people pleaser as well. So I'm always like trying to read people's emotions and like cater to their emotions and make sure that they don't feel comfortable. So it leads people on, which like I need to not be like that.
I know. It's something I've really had to work on with myself as well because I do that too. And I don't mean to. Like, it's just I'm trying to be kind.
Me too.
And sometimes
match
like
that energy.
Yeah.
And so when you're trying to match energy like that, it makes it I don't think it means to lead people on. It just means to be like a good conversationalist and a good
because I mean, if we don't end things right away, like at the top of the day, if we're not just both like, okay, well, I'm done, then I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna make the best of this, like 30 minutes. So I am gonna try and be as engaging as possible.
Oh my god! And then you're like, she loves me, and she's
thinks
amazing.
I'm so funny. You're like, oh no.
Yeah.
So what's worse? I think that this is a question. What's worse? What's worse, being the person who you know the other person's way more into you than them, or you're way more into a person than they are into you?
I think I'm used to being into people who aren't super into me. So I would rather that than have somebody be super into me and I'm not into them because I don't want to navigate that.
It's really interesting. I've definitely been on both sides. I think I would rather also be the one that's too into somebody that isn't into me.
So I can get over that.
I can get over it.
I'll wait for the next crush to come along.
Yeah, it's not as bad.
Yeah.
I just it's never a fun situation to feel like you're hurting someone's feelings.
It's so hard. It's so hard to let people down gently.
I mean, that's the reason why people ghost.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, I mean, I am a ghoster.
I've ghosted.
I would too, honestly, if that was
I have
the
a
case.
copy paste like rejection thing.
It's in your notes.
It's in my notes. It was so nice to meet you. Thank you so much. Like, I just think we want different things. I wish you good luck in your search.
It's like a form letter.
It really is.
Do you want her to send that to you? Like, just
can you actually? 'Cause I'm just like a literal ghost. I will just disappear off the face of the earth.
Yeah,
you're
just
like, I don't know
that
her.
one text. And then because I didn't want to hear any response to it, block. But then I was like, I'm not ghosting. I let them know that we're never speaking again.
Yes.
Ever.
Yeah.
Have you ever run? I know it's a big town. Have either of you ever run into somebody that you went on a date with?
No.
I saw the girl that I went on a date with because she lives like close by to where I live. But I don't know if she saw me. So
Best
Would she have her
case
glasses on?
Yeah. Probably couldn't see you at all.
She's like, I don't know. She might have seen me. I have no clue. I didn't see her eyes.
Who knows? Exactly. I guess we'll never know.
Well, we usually do a would you rather that we kind of just skimmed right past, but I have a fun one for you because we're both in hair.
Yeah.
And I thought this would be an interesting would you rather.
Okay.
Would you rather shave your head or never cut your hair again?
And your head has to stay shaved, right? No. Like, you just shave it once.
Shave your head
I'll shave my head.
or never cut your hair.
I'll shave my head.
I would shave my head.
I'll wear wigs. I don't care.
Yeah. I mean, well, again,
I'll wear hats.
and if it's just the once, and you're letting your hair grow back,
Oh, it's just the ones?
yeah, because it's
Wasn't specific.
even if it was forever, I think I would still shave my head.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Yeah. To never cut my hair again and look like, I'm like getting ready to
a
churn
cult?
butter.
Yeah, you're coming right out of the well, like from fucking The Ring. Yeah. She's like,
Yeah. No, I'm shaving my head for sure.
Part of me is like shave my head just because I have that like itch to do it.
Me too.
But I'm too scared.
me too.
But I feel like it would be kind of nice to just say fuck it and do it. But then the other part of me is like, I got a pixie haircut one time and I was unwell until that grew out.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't know if
was-
I'm mentally stable enough.
It was a thing. I've talked to Keegan about it because I cut all of my hair
Because
off.
I want to cut mine off.
And it was it was a lot more emotional than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
It was very emotional. And I will say people treated me differently.
Yeah.
It was more difficult to maintain and upkeep. I did not feel good about myself, like at all.
Same.
I didn't realize how much of my persona I had wrapped up in my hair and what a big deal it was going to be. So and shaving my head, I'm like, I know what it is now, and I think I can prepare for it. But I
don't know if I could.
But never cutting your hair.
I know,
Ever?
but I just.
I guess you could like style it.
Yeah, I could style it. I could change the color. I just don't know.
But wouldn't your ends get all like
crusty? They'd be really
up?
nasty.
Yeah, if you never cut it ever, like
especially if you're going to color your hair.
Yeah, I feel like I would shave it because I'm like, you're right, Christine. Like wigs exist. If I'm really like, I fucking cannot handle it. I also think just being like, I don't know, like in the Black community, wigs are so normalized and like stuff. I'm just like, I feel like it wouldn't be that big a deal if I was like, I really hate it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's fine.
True.
Yeah, and you'd be able to, once it starts growing back out, to like braids, do braids and stuff like that.
If I was just like, I really can't handle it.
Meg's like,
I did the bald filter on TikTok. I did because everybody was doing it, and I literally looked like an egg. I was like,
oh my God, lean into your nickname.
It was very on brand.
Exactly.
But
Amazing.
I don't know.
You see, I did it, and I actually sent it to you guys because I was like, surprisingly,
nothing surprising. You were like,
okay,
yeah.
No, I looked like an egg.
I'm like, I feel
to
like
do
I
this
could live
now.
in
I'm so
Wakanda. You know what I mean?
so like,
do it because I was just like, I feel like I'm living my best like Wakanda warrior life
Wonderful.
with a bald head. I'm like, I think I could maybe rock it, although no guarantee. But my biggest fear is actually like, what if I have a weird shaped head?
Yeah.
Because that
Like a
filter
weird
gives
scalp.
you like a great
perfect head shape.
Yeah. Like, what if I have like a weird ridge or something? Or like, you know what I mean?
A flat back of your head.
Oh man,
Looking like a thumb.
Oh no.
You never know.
That's the fear.
Or like you have like this really strong occipital, so you
No.
just like an alien.
No.
Yeah, like we were watching Glass Onion, the Knives Out, and I was like looking at Bautista, his head, I'm
ridges.
like, ridges.
Yeah. He's like a Ruffles chip.
I feel like I would know if I had ridges, though. I feel
would.
like you'd feel that.
You would
right?
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can feel it under hair.
Yeah.
Thumb. I'm never going to be able to look at somebody the same way again.
Thumb with ears from behind.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, you know the type. You've seen it.
We've seen it.
Yeah, just
That would just
straight,
be-
just
ooh.
neck straight up.
Yep.
Yeah.
No.
Oh no.
Spooky.
Welcome to the I Can't Sleep podcast with Benjamin Boster. If you're tired of sleepless nights, you'll love the I Can't Sleep podcast. I help quiet your mind by reading random articles from across the web to bore you to sleep with my soothing voice. Each episode provides enough interesting content to hold your attention, and then your mind lets you drift off. Find it wherever you get your podcasts. That's I Can't Sleep with Benjamin Boster.
Worst date you've ever been on?
Okay. Well,
You've provided us with some good dates because you told us about your brother.
I know. So that is the
What?
craziest date. Definitely.
The story. Remember, I told you guys the story about the snake.
Oh, yes.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So my dating, I feel like I've been pretty lucky. Like I feel like the one I went on recently where she wore her sunglasses was like pretty rough because the whole time I felt like I was just like grappling and like trying to just like make a conversation and just
That's the worst.
salvage like I don't know, like literally at the end of the date, she was like, all right, well, it's been an hour. I feel like that's a good amount for a date. And I was like, okay. And then I still was like, okay, well, like, where did you park? And then I like walked her to her car. Like, just call it quits and leave. Like, I just was like, it was just uncomfortable on my end, I feel like. But yeah, that was crazy. So should I retell it?
Oh, no.
Snake story?
The snake story.
Oh
my
Oh,
god.
your brother?
Yeah.
I think
I
so.
mean, that
Then we'll
was
have
nuts.
video of
That,
it.
Yeah.
That is a
Yeah, we did tell this on the podcast, so
Yeah, I remember you guys told us.
it might be a repeat.
It's been
but we're
been a
right.
while,
It's been
though.
a while, and we're going to the source.
Yeah.
So it is a
it's going to
different.
be way better
Yeah.
than me trying to retell.
And it is wild enough that it's worth repeating. It
Okay, okay.
truly, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So my brother was dating this girl, Rihanna, who was a belly dancer. And we had never met her. My family had never met her. And my brother, I think, was living in maybe Philly at the time. He like moved. He's lived in like every major city. He lives in Austin now, but I think he was living in Philly. He was not home. So he came for Easter. This was for Easter.
Oh,
And-
he has risen.
Right. Came for Easter. And I think it was like maybe the day before, or maybe not, maybe the day of, that he said he was going to bring somebody. And
The day of is a bold move.
it was, he just like, I aspire to be the way that he is. He truly does not give a fuck.
No
My
fucks.
mom is wild. Like, I feel like it had to happen that way. And I think he knew
Is
that.
he younger? Is
No,
he
he's
the
older.
baby?
He's older.
He's the oldest?
He's the oldest, yeah.
Oh,
he's 4
wow.
years older than I am. But he's always just been like a trailblazer. Like I feel like
Wow.
my sister and I just like owe everything to him because he just like was so like wild that we could really, I mean, especially my little sister, because like after me, she could do anything. Honestly.
Yeah.
I feel like that's so unusual for firstborns.
Yeah.
'Cause
We usually toe the party line. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, he really just like, he blazed the trail.
He does what he wants. Does what he wants.
So he calls up and he's like,
Yeah.
hey,
So he
yeah.
says, yes.
And so when you said that, like he had to do it that way because of your mom, would she have like freaked out if he had like told her earlier? Was it just a thing that's like, this is happening, so get your head around it?
Okay, so little backstory. So my brother's transgender. So at the time, he was my sister, and he was dating girls, and my mom was just like very uncomfortable with it.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I feel like she's come a long way. Shout out to Terry. But it's like at the time, it was definitely like, I think just uncomfortable and like not kosher.
Got it.
So yeah, so like she would introduce I'm saying my brother, but at the time technically it was my sister. But she would introduce my brother's like girlfriends as just friends. She'd be like, oh, this is just his friend. Like, so it was very much like I don't think he really honestly felt comfortable being like, I'm bringing a girl home.
Yeah.
Right.
But he did, and he really did. So he brought Rihanna.
If I'm rocking the boat.
We're rocking it all the way,
rocking
baby.
Truly. And she was just like, I mean, she was a belly dancer that danced with a python. So like she was very like hippie, super hippie, very nice.
But she traveled with her python.
I don't know if she did all the time, but she had just gotten it. It was a baby. So it was a baby ball python.
Okay.
And
All right.
so I think she couldn't leave it at home because it had this like crazy cage with all these like temperature controls. I don't think she wanted to leave it alone.
Okay.
So she brought the whole thing. So
Can you imagine traveling with this?
No, I mean, did they fly or drive?
drove.
They drove.
Yeah,
Okay.
They drove because I think he was in Philly. I think he was in Philly at the time.
Okay.
Yeah, so they drove. So they show up and it's already like uncomfortable vibes right away. And then she comes in with like a cage with a snake. We have a lot of animals. We have dogs, cats. I think we had like gerbils. Like we just had a lot of
I
You have
feel
snake
like
food?
you have
Literally.
to warn someone. If like, look, I actually like reptiles, but I'm just like, if you're coming over, I have 2 cats, and I'm like, if you're coming over to stay with me, you gotta give me a heads up. Like, you gotta let me know.
Yeah.
that, like this is something that you're doing, so that like we can figure it out. Like if you're gonna bring a snake into my house,
correct.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, a python.
That's
Full thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah, I think the reason why that didn't happen was just the lines of communication between them were just not there anyways.
Yeah.
So I feel like he didn't even want to be like, I'm bringing a girl for Easter. So I doubt he would have been like, I'm bringing
Oh, and by the way,
a girl who's a belly dancer that has a python with her.
Yeah.
I just don't see that happening.
Make space, make room.
Yeah.
So plus my family is just kind of like a do it and then like apologize later, or
Yeah.
do it and then like never talk about it again.
Got it.
Oh,
It's
sure.
their culture and
Yes.
and my family. So it's It tracks. I understand.
Yeah, all right.
It's totally like you should have for sure been like, I'm bringing a snake, but you know,
Yeah.
that just did not happen. So we had a cat, Gracie. I got Gracie for my birthday. She was an asshole, and my mom
love
just
her already.
Best
yeah,
ones.
my mom
Yeah.
just knew already that it was going to be like a thing. So like Gracie was just like once a week brought like a mouse to the door, Hunter. Like my mom
This
was
is my
like,
contribution
"This
to the
is not
family."
gonna-
Yeah.
this is not good. So
Do you know I heard why cats do that?
It's a gift.
No, they think you can't take care of yourself.
I've heard that as well. I've heard that both things. I think that both things are
They're
probably true.
You can't hunt, but I can. So here you go.
Yeah,
that's kind of cute.
because I'd heard that like cats don't they don't have the ability to see you as like people, so they see you as like big cats. So they're probably like, this big cat is so stupid,
Just so dumb.
can't figure out how to hunt its
Look
own
at this asshole. Let me just help him out a little bit. That's so funny.
Got your mouse, dum dum.
So it's a gift that's also like a diss at the same time. Yeah.
absolutely. Very on
That's
brand for
cat-like.
cats.
Exactly. Perfect. Yeah.
And this is why I
Backhanded
like cats.
gift.
Yeah. Very passive aggressive.
Here you go, you idiot.
So funny. Okay. So Gracie clawed a hole in the top of the cage. So the cage was like a glass cage. So the top had a screen, like kind of like a window screen that was attached down, but it was like, I mean, Gracie just like clawed a hole.
That feels very like that cat that's calculated. Like she
Yeah.
wanted to cause chaos.
That
She's
was
just
that
like-
was Gracie.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
She was chaotic.
Yeah. She knew what she was doing. She was
For
just like, this is
sure.
going to make Easter interesting.
And then she just sat back and ate her mouse.
Yeah.
Yeah, just watching it unfold. She's like, oh, you guys think Xavier is chaotic. Here we go. So we woke up the next day and the snake was gone, not in the cage.
Oh no.
And
Happy Easter.
he has risen.
truly, yeah. And it was like, I remember my mom being like, what the fuck? Like, what are we going to do? There's a snake in the house. Like I said, we had dogs, we had cats. We were like scouring the house for like 3 or 4 days, couldn't find it.
That's too long to not know where
Yeah,
it
it's
is.
long. I like
sleeping with one eye open.
I don't think I slept at home, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think I spent the night at friends' house.
Yeah,
I was
you're like, I'm going to.
like the first night, I remember just like feeling my feet just like, you know how like when your feet hang over the bed?
Oh,
Yeah,
well, the
demons.
worst.
Same thing. I
Yeah.
was like, I just can picture it like squiggling in.
Oh, yep. No.
Yeah.
Nope.
So 3 or 4 days, we like pulled the house apart, couldn't find it. My brother and Rihanna left because
Yeah, gotta go back home.
How
Yeah.
does she feel about this though? Because
She
like,
was
pythons
upset.
are not cheap.
yeah,
right?
she was
Like,
upset definitely, but like also like
What are
You brought
gonna
a
do?
python over.
yeah. So
Yeah.
they left, and for like 2.5 weeks, we never found it, and then we found it, and it was dead in the basement because it was winter time, or it wasn't winter, but like it was like March. It was still cold in
coldish.
Maryland.
Yeah, yeah.
Which, like, of course, you don't want to find it dead, but the relief just knowing that it wasn't like
Sneaking around your house.
exploring our house.
Yeah, I mean, and also that it didn't do, like, of course you don't want to find it dead. That's so sad. But,
Yeah.
like, at least it didn't hurt any of your animals.
Yes,
Because that would
right.
be the thing that
Yeah.
I would be worried about.
Yeah. I forgot to mention also that she put a show on.
That's what I remember. I was
I
going to
forgot.
ask.
Yeah.
I forgot. I don't know how I forgot that.
Yeah.
But she did. She put a show on for us.
Well, how did that go? Like, was she just
Most Easter dinners that I know of do not contain a talent show portion.
how did she ask? Was she just like, I would love for everybody to gather in the basement. I have something to show you. Like,
My family, I will say, is like a talent show family.
Oh, okay.
Growing up, we had a talent show at the school that I went to every year. And like, it was no joke. My mom it was always our entire basketball team because my mom was also our coach. Like the whole team would put a number on. So like, it would be like an hour of basketball practice and then you stay after so we can rehearse. Like it was no
Amazing.
joke.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love
and
it.
we were all in like, every year we were in the talent show. So like, that was not normal, but like us performing was like
yeah.
widely accepted, I suppose. I don't remember how she brought it up.
Yeah, because I feel like that's one of those things where it's just like, how do you? It's not like you guys
she
are
have
all
music?
drinking.
Yes.
A company? Oh,
She
wow.
brought. Okay.
Like in my
had
mind,
an
she brings
outfit.
out a boombox.
She had an outfit.
Yeah.
with like a tape player.
No, I feel like that's probably accurate.
Oh man. Oh wow.
Trying to think of how long ago it was. It was like at least, so I would say he was probably like early 20s and he's like 38 now. So it was a long time ago.
Oh wow.
So I'm like, I don't remember exactly how it came up.
That requires even more forethought, right? Because it's not like you could just pull up music on your phone, probably. Like she brought a CD.
Yeah.
A CD, you know, like and she's like, this is my favorite belly dance
dancing
music.
jams.
I mean, it was like her entire life. So I feel like she was like ready to go probably all the time.
Belly dancing is super cool. And if we were in a situation where like that came up naturally, like we're all sitting around like drinking and then she, like, you know, show me your thing. But like somehow I don't think that's how that happened, or is it?
No, I don't think so. I feel like it was very spur of the moment and we were all just kind of like, okay, I guess we're doing this. Ooh, here we go.
That is so awkward.
Level, my secondhand embarrassment could never take it. I would literally just be.
Yeah, what would you do if Dylan brought home somebody that all of a sudden like wanted to show their skills? You know?
Yeah.
Would you be like, honey, we don't need to see this?
No,
put it away. Put it away.
Like I
isn't
feel like
helping your
anytime you're gonna show me your skills, it's like the story we told where the guy was showing them his karate. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Where it's just like I don't need that. Like I'm happy you're happy that you like this thing, that you have this hobby, that like or this skill. Amazing. I
believe you can do it.
Proud of you. But like I don't need to see it.
No, I know.
Personally. Like like I'm not gonna start like singing in the middle of a
What's
fucking
the cringiest
like,
thing that could happen on a date, right? Like what would be
It's up there.
Right. Like what could happen if you're on a date? Like if he starts singing. I mean, we've had that.
Yeah,
Singing
the singing in restaurants is big.
Yeah.
That's terrible. The
belly dancing's
rapper,
gotta be up there, though.
the story we had about the rapper.
The guy who freestyled
raps
on a date. Yeah, I mean, I actually think anything super physical, if you were in public, like doing it in your like date's family home is bad enough.
Yeah.
But like if you're at an Olive Garden and you're like, I'm really good at contemporary dance.
No. No, I would immediately leave.
Or what if like you're really good at like breaking? That's gotta be worse. Like you bring out, y'all got any cardboard? Your cardboard. Exactly. I bring my own cardboard actually. I brought.
Hold on 1 sec.
No. Oh my god.
That I think would be the worst if somebody started popping and locking on a date.
The guy with the puppet. The puppets in his trunk.
That wasn't in public. That was at least alone. I do think that if we were in public and you started doing karate,
oh my god!
If you started doing like showing me your karate moves,
all I can think of now is the poor little Star Wars kid. When you said that, do you know the Star Wars kid?
No.
There's a guy that had like he was like 12 or whatever. It was a really popular video back in the day or whatever. This kid with a lightsaber. Like,
oh yeah,
Star Wars kid.
I remember that. But at least you're a kid. You're a kid. Yeah, it's not like if you're 30 and you're a Star Wars kid,
it's worse.
It's worse. And I have to say, with the puppet thing, I will say this. In public is usually worse, but I would feel unsafe if somebody pulled out a puppet if we were in private.
That's very alone true. And it's dark outside.
I'm like, are you gonna murder me? Like, what's happening?
Yeah, well, what is this?
No,
is this
I'm
like
not,
a...
I am.
Oh my god!
Precisely.
Shut up! No, I can't. What?
Red rum. You're like,
no. Well, yeah. I mean, that's certainly a red flag. But what are red flags for you now that you're, here in LA, you're dating, that sort of thing? What makes you go? Nope.
Well, sunglasses has been added to the list,
right? Yeah. No.
I just feel like I could not date somebody that is like anti-therapy.
Yeah.
People not willing to work on themselves.
Yeah. It's so like for them to just like, I understand if you can't afford it or you don't have access, but like those people that are like, no, I don't like, you don't need therapy. Therapy is like bullshit. Just go to the gym and lift. How's that working out?
Yeah.
Like I just can't.
That's the reddest of flags.
Yeah.
Working out is not a good replacement for therapy at all.
I bet you have a rich inner life.
Yeah. You seem emotionally healthy.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I can imagine communication's going to go great in this relationship.
No, I thought about that actually like recently. Like, like people who aren't willing to do any work on them, or who aren't interested in trying to like look
deeper.
Like grow,
well, but then
self-reflect at all.
also belittle anybody who is.
Yes.
Which is even worse.
That's
like
the worst.
It is worse.
Yeah. Where you're like, oh, I don't want to work on myself. It's like, ugh, well, yuck. That's not a good sign. But then they're like, therapy's such bullshit. Anybody that actually believes in that bullshit, it's like, wow. Okay. So now you've taken it up a level of suck.
Yeah.
We're not talking about like astrology here, which arguably
Which
that's a red
also
flag for me as well. Anybody who gets very
That
aggressive
upsets.
about like
anything
you're
you
so
enjoy.
stupid anything you enjoy. Like
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird. Like everybody has their things. So I mean, unless it's like dangerous, problematic, it's like, why can't you just let people enjoy things? It's weird when people are like
Yes.
go overboard to like let it be known to you that it's like they don't like it. It's just weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And unnecessary.
Exactly.
But in some ways, I'm like, oh, I'm glad you put that on the table so I can wrap this up.
Yeah.
Get out
I'm
of
glad
here.
we didn't get too far before I saw that.
Yeah.
Have you ever had to make a steady exit from a date?
I have left. I've gone to the bathroom and just left.
Yeah.
I went on a date one time with, I think this might have been my maybe one and only Tinder date.
and this might be why you're not on there anymore.
He had to sneak out. Yeah.
Yeah, I went on a date with this guy, and first of all, we met at a bar in like Frederick, which is very far away from where I used to live.
Closer to like DC, right?
It's it's like it was like an hour from where I lived. So I was already driving like pretty far. And we went to this bar, fine, but like we start talking. I don't know how to say this without being like rude, but he just was like not intelligent at all. And it was like,
That's hard. That's hard.
yeah, that. And then the more we talked, he was a firefighter and my dad's a firefighter. And he knew my dad.
Oh.
He knew like two other people that I knew. And I was like, I got a blast. I got a blast. I got a blast. Like there was no connection at all.
Yeah.
But like then he knew my dad. Like he knew like a couple other people who I knew that had boyfriends that were firefighters.
Oh,
and I was
no.
like, I feel trapped.
Yeah. I can't breathe.
I gotta go. I gotta blast. I gotta blast.
You're too immersed already.
I felt really bad because he was very nice.
Did you text him? What'd you do afterwards? Or did you just ghosty?
I ghosted. Yeah. I literally was like, I'm gonna go to the
She threw
bathroom
down
now.
those smoke bombs.
No, truly. I apparated. I blasted out of there. I did. No, I literally vanished. I felt so bad. But like,
So you never heard from him again?
no.
Well, no, he's that dumb that he was like, I don't know, she just disappeared.
Maybe she said she would.
Maybe I was dreaming.
Yeah.
Who knows? Yeah.
Maybe
no.
I was dreaming.
I felt bad, but I also was like,
Yeah, not being able to connect with somebody at all in any way, in any facet on an intellectual level, either is hard. Like that's hard.
yeah. And I feel like going back to the therapy thing, I've noticed this because I've been in therapy for a long time and it's literally my favorite day of the week. I feel like the more I do it and the longer I'm in therapy, the harder it is for me to tolerate like anyone that's not down to like, not that you have to be like all about therapy, but I feel like it's hard to connect with somebody that doesn't reflect at all on themselves.
Yes.
Right.
Take the time to
so
actually-
much harder. Yeah.
Yes.
It's like, I don't know. I've just noticed that even in general, like friendships too, it's just kind of hard, like to connect.
Yes. Yeah. I know what you mean. Yeah. Cause I spend a lot of my time trying to like look deeper. Like I
too.
spend a lot of time trying to like find like the things that I want to improve about myself to live the best kind of life that I can live and be the best kind of person I can be to everybody, for everybody around me and like all of that. And when someone is not interested in doing that at all, it just won't work long term. It just won't work because you're going to end up pouring and pouring and pouring yourself in and they won't even see that they need to work on their own shit to help, to pour into you. Like they just won't even see it.
Yeah. Well, and the idea too of a relationship is to grow together. You know, and if someone's not interested in growing or is not like growing at the same rate, it's just always going to be like
unequal.
Yeah.
And then you're going to always end up spending like half that energy that you want to be putting into yourself, like trying to bring them to your level.
Oh, totally.
That is like exhausting.
Yeah.
Girl, I know.
Losing game.
I know.
Losing game.
Throwing out solutions for somebody like constantly. Like,
Yeah.
like, what if you tried this? You could try this. Like, yeah. It is exhausting.
It's rough. It's rough. Yeah.
What other red flags you got?
Trying to think.
Or deal breakers. Do you have any like? I mean, besides like glasses.
Well, I feel
and pythons.
You mean like physical or
just in general. Anything?
Okay. Yeah. I feel like so like paranoia. Like any sort of like paranoid, like jealousy type, like type vibe.
Yeah.
Okay.
My ex-boyfriend was like that, and I feel like I just can't ever go back to that because it was just not good.
Yeah.
No, that's awful.
Yeah.
You spend so much time reassuring the other person, and that's
yourself
exhausting.
too.
Yeah.
Because then you're like,
Wait, am I doing this?
No,
Yeah.
truly. I was like gaslighting myself 24/7, and then I'm like, no. Yeah, it was not good. So I would say that.
Uh-oh.
Wow.
So mean. I was just gonna say, like, I can't handle like a really, really, really bad hairline.
That is
Like
hilarious.
thinning or like
Listen, that's hilarious. That's a hairdresser thing. If I
it kills me. It kills me.
Yeah.
Or like not like
I love
greasy hair.
I love a bald guy.
Okay.
Like somebody that will
I would prefer that.
Same.
Yeah.
Commit to it.
My ex-boyfriend, I hope he doesn't listen to this, but my ex-boyfriend, he had like thinning, receding hairline, and he was like so self-conscious about it, of course. Always like,
Yeah.
which
Valid.
I get it.
Yeah.
But he just was like clinging on so hard.
Yeah.
And then after we finally got rid of each other, we were like on and off for like 6 years. He shaved his head. And then I saw him randomly at a Trader Joe's, and I was like,
You look great.
that looks so much better.
Why didn't you do that?
And 9 times out of 10, that's the case. Like, it's just like, it looks so much better.
So
Just
much better.
Let it go. And I understand.
go.
And I do. And I try not to like belittle, because I'm just like, I get it that like this is a tough thing that men have to go through,
for sure.
aging. And like that is all very difficult. But it's like, I just don't do the Friar Tuck situation. Don't do the like trying to comb over the
Transplant,
3
rosemary oil.
No.
Yeah. Just like, it's not just
shave it.
Just let it
Just
go.
do
It's
it.
okay. It's okay.
Yeah, it was like night and day. I was like, well, damn.
You're like, was 6 years enough?
I'm reconsidering.
It actually kind of pissed me off when I
Yeah,
saw
I
it. And he shaved it because when we were together and I did that pixie cut that I was talking about earlier, I cut it like during one of our breakups, and we ended up getting back together, and he like hated it and wouldn't let me know.
Of course.
And I never said anything to him about his hair because I knew he was like very self-conscious about it. And like I was very self-conscious about my pixie haircut. I hated it. And he like roasted my ass.
That's the worst when someone, when there's something that you're actually like sensitive about, and someone continues to poke at it, and they're like, I'm just joking or whatever. And you're
Because why would you keep bringing it up?
why would you?
joking?
And why would you keep bringing it up when you know it's something that I'm sensitive about? It's so inconsiderate. Yeah. Not cool. Not cool, bro.
Dang, I should have roasted your 4 hairs that you had last time. But I didn't because I'm nice.
Yeah, and isn't that always the case too? That like when you break up with somebody, it's like then is when they decide to like do all the things that you were thinking. Yeah, the glow up, and you're like, son of a bitch! Like
I couldn't do so much time.
I know. Now you're looking like this.
Don't worry, they're still not doing your dishes.
Yeah,
They're
that's
still
true.
not.
Yeah, you broke up for a reason. Try to ignore the glow up.
Yeah, you got to.
Yeah.
This is so specific, but I feel like when this is all, of course, like stemming back to this one relationship, but he would like microwave hot dogs and the smell. So now I just like I can't with a hot dog.
He's ruined an entire food. That's what I did. I used to microwave hot dogs when I was like the poorest I've ever been, and I was like 21.
Yeah,
and it was just like
smell kind of lingers,
and it is like
pungent.
Hot dog juice is a very specific. That's so funny.
Yeah, we lived in a basement apartment, so it was just like
trapped in the smell.
There was no windows. There was just like the door that you came down into. Oof. So it was like a hot dog hot box. No, not good. It was disgusting.
Oh no! Never a hot dog hot box.
Hot box.
My brother's husband likes to tell the story. This was like one of their second dates that he went on with my brother. My baby brother is a wonderful human, but he doesn't really have his shit together all the time. Right. So he went over for the second date, and Patrick was just like eating lunch or whatever. And he's like, gets in the door, and Patrick has this huge plate, and Chris, his husband, describes it as like there were like 100 fish sticks. My brother was just sitting there eating like 100 fish sticks.
Never makes you happy.
Chris was like, what are you doing?
Oh my God.
Like, I just like fish sticks.
You know what though? Like, okay. In his defense,
100 fish sticks.
Sometimes you just, because I try to eat pretty healthy like most of the time, and like I try to have my shit together, right? Like
every now and again, you get a pizza roll,
right? Every now and again, exactly, pizza rolls. Like every now and again, you're at the store and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna buy that bag of pizza rolls and I'm gonna make that whole fucking bag of pizza rolls.
I'm gonna become the Gordon's fisherman today.
But they said it's like, not a second date thing.
Yeah, no. And Chris was like, Chris does all the cooking for them now, and Chris is like very, very, very good cook, and he just like looked at that in horror because he's also from like Australia, and his family's also from Denmark and stuff. So our Ohio eating habits sometimes really disgust
my
brother-in-law.
He's like, that's hilarious.
100 fish sticks.
How do you even eat 100 fish sticks?
Patrick's a big dude. Yeah. He's like 6'4".
He's really tall.
Yeah.
Like one side's got 50 fish sticks. The other
Jesus Christ.
One leg.
That's a lot
hollow
of fish
leg
sticks.
to fill.
Yeah. It's a lot.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Oh God,
this was such a blast.
That was fun.
Yes, please let everyone know where they can find, like, and follow you.
That's right.
Okay, so you can find me on Instagram at Schmegs and Bacon with 2 N's. And then same on TikTok. But my TikTok is kind of lame, but trying to be better. So,
okay.
Yeah, we're all trying to be better.
Yeah.
We'll also put your information in our show notes as well. So if anybody is looking for those handles, you can find them in our show notes.
Amazing.
Yay.
Thank you, guys.
Well, thank you so much. And cheers.
This is a Glass Box Media Podcast.